Shanti, good morning everyone. So what we'll be doing today is the three murlis that we heard this entire week. We will pick up some of the points from those murlis and let's see what comes up. Because it's not a murli reading class, it's more like a manthan. It will be wonderful if all of us could come up with our own experiences of how could you relate to the Murli points when you read it the entire day? How did you what is your experience of that Murli, or any experience that you have in your Brahmin life related to that Murli? And of course, we'll bring up some really interesting practical points out of it. So that's the whole intent. And of course, we'll have some meditation practice in between. So we have three murlis. We churn the first one, we experience it, we move on to the second one, experience it, and third and the experience, and we close. That's how the entire session is planned. So you could feel free to unmute yourself and share, especially for this specific class. It'll be wonderful because I know this group, I know all of you have been listening to Avyakt Murli for quite some time. Yeah, so there is nothing more that I would have in terms of churning. It'll be a group, wisdom which will come up and which will bring the essence and richness in the class. So that's how this session is planned. Let's look at the first Murli. Before we really move on to the first Murli, just a little thought on how Baba kind of, how the format of Avyakt Murli, the way Baba kind of takes us through the Avyakt Murli. So if we look at it, there are two aspects in every Avyakt Murli. Okay, so the first one is the way Baba sees us. For example, the last Avyakt Murli Bab Dada Milan which happened, and Baba says, Baba बेफिक्र बादशाह बच्चों को देख रहे हैं. Yeah. So now the question is, are we really carefree emperors? Maybe not. Maybe not. We all have our stages, right? So some days we are perfectly fine. Our Purusharth is going fine. There are days when things are not going right. Our state of mind is not okay. But still Baba says, Baba, is looking at carefree emperors. Now the question is, if we are not like that, is it that Baba is not looking at us? What's your thought when Baba says, I'm looking at such children? Whatever that, the title of that Murli could be, Baba is looking at such children. What happens at that time? Why does Baba say that when we are not that? Is it that Baba only sees dadis who are in that stage, or, souls who are in that stage? What's the thought?
The thought here is he wants us to become that way. So that whole sankalp is, whether you're there or not, I see you this way. So when I see you this way, one day or the other you will become.
Wonderful, wonderful, Rakhi Ben. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else would like to share?
Yeah, Om Shanti. Baba is Trikaldarshi. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Baba is Trikaldarshi. He knows what we wear, what we are, and what we are to become.
Wonderful.
So he knows unless he lifts up his children with these titles and all, then we will go down to the potential inside us and become that, as Rakhi Ben likes it, to become that. But it's so beautiful because when he says us, he starts the Murli just like Sakar is Meete Bacche. He starts us with such a lovely, a title, and then I sit in that seat of carefree emperor.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Om Shanti, sister. He'll be keep seeing us, whether we have become like that or not. He'll be seeing us and he'll be giving drishti to us, so that one day we will definitely become like that.
Wonderful.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you, Lakshmi Ben. Wonderful. Anybody
else?
Om
Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Like how we grow our children in house, like the same type Baba see us. Like, we won't tell our child in a negative manner, right? Even if the child make wrong or any unwanted things. Like always says the positive always sees the child's positive, and we used to grow like our children's right. In the same manner, God will see us. Om Shanti.
Wonderful, Sridhar Bhai. Wonderfully shared. So even at home, when we look at children, we kind of encourage them for positive behaviors more than looking and talking about their. So does it mean that they don't improve or they still improve? And what is the parent role in that? The work that the child needs to do upon himself or herself. What is the role of the parent then?
We have to give a full efforts to
okay.
bring the child into the right path. So same way Father is having pity on us, and he will keep giving drishti for us and see that his child will become one day like that, strong enough to become like that. So he keeps blessings us.
Wonderful. Usha Ben says constantly remind them of what they have to do. Wonderful. Thank you everyone for sharing.
Baba himself is an example. A parent should be an example, because if Baba is a creator, I am master creator. He just doesn't say. So he puts us one step away. He's saying, "Ab to master baap hai." So the parent should be first an example.
Right. Wonderful. So you become an example, and that's how you inspire children to be in a certain way. Wonderful. So exactly, the way all of us here in the class, in the discussion mentioned. One is, the way Baba sees us. Now, why does Baba see us that way when we are not like that? Because when Baba says, I'm seeing you in that way, let's say I'm seeing you as a carefree emperor, there is one thing that Baba is already doing. Okay, so two aspects that I was talking about. One is what Baba does for us, and second is for being that, what the way Baba sees us, what is it that we have to do? Always in Avyakt Murlis that there are these two aspects if you observe. One is what Baba does for us, and second is what we have to do, what effort, what purushart we have to do to reach that stage. Yeah, for example, this Avyakt Murli which happened, Baba says, I'm seeing all carefree emperors. Now when Baba says that, the first thing that happens is Baba just doesn't say, like some of you mentioned, Baba gives that drishti, that vibrations. He's giving that power to all of us that we become like that. Yeah, how do we become carefree emperors? He's taken our responsibility. The Father has taken our responsibility. He says, you are my children. I have taken your responsibility. As soon as that first thought comes, carefree emperor. So that is what Baba does. And then Baba says, what is it that you have to do now? So what Baba does, he gives us that power. He makes us experience that stage of being a carefree emperor. And then he tells us now what we need to do. Baba says, what you need to do is, fikr lekar fakur lena hai. In that, so ruhani nasha, what is it that we call it in Hindi? I'm not so sure, but I think, that intoxication, that intoxication that we can experience. So what we do is we give up fikr and we, lena hai, take that ruhani fakur. So that is the practice that we have to do. In that same way, Baba, gives us 2 or 3 pointers. So Baba says, if you become like that, if you give up your fikr to Baba and you take up that fakur, what happens is you become light. You become light, and then what happens is, जो light होते हैं वो प्यारे लगते हैं. You become, everybody is able to kind of relate to you because you're light, right? बोझ वाला नहीं, टोकरी नहीं, not heavy, very light. And then उसका यादगार. So Baba says यादगार क्या है? Very simple. Baba says, when you become deities, you have 2 taj, light taj, and the other taj, you become victorious over the vices. So that taj. So Baba clearly tells us what we need to do. Couple of other things that Baba mentioned. मेरे को तेरा कर दो, है ना? Why मेरे को तेरा करने से क्या होगा? Wonderful, yours instead of mine. Yes, Susha Behan, you are absolutely right. Yours instead of mine. मेरे को तेरा. Now, what we need to understand is, right now, what I am taking as mera, and what is it that I need to make tera. So right now, mine is my children, my family, my husband, my business, my house, my everything that I consider mine right now has to become Baba's. My sanskar, even as deep as my sanskar, should become tera. And what is now mera? If we become, if we kind of make Mera tera, if we become our, we give up ours to Baba and say, okay, Baba, you take care, you are responsible for my life, you take care of my life. And what is it that is mera? That is also very important, because we can't, it's very difficult to give up everything, right? So there is one thing which is mera, and that is mera Baba. Yeah, so Baba is mine. More this awareness, Befikr Badshah. To become carefree emperor is very, very simple. So if you look at the entire Murli, there is a flow, there is a sequence in Avyakta Murlis. First, what is it that Baba is doing? First, Baba will do. Baba does for us. He looks us that way, he gives us power, he gives us drishti, and sees our future form. Yeah, and then he tells us now what we need to do. Doing that becomes easier because Baba has already given us power. We just have to emerge that stage. Befikr Badshah, carefree emperor. Just emerge that stage. As much as we emerge that stage, Baba has already given us powers. Baba has already given us that, that strength to become like that. Then couple of little points that we have to follow. Mere ko tera kar do. Fikar dekar fakur le lo. Little things that Baba wants us to do. So Avyakt Murlis are, in a way, there is a complete flow and a pattern to it. And every time there is a lot that Baba gives us already before he asks us to do something. Yeah, that's the beauty of Avyakt Murlis. So let's move on to the first Murli that we read this week, which is 18th January 71. Okay, it's a wonderful Murli where Baba is talking about, Baba is saying service through Avyakta stage. Yeah, in this Murli, there is a line which says, this day has been designated as going beyond the sound. Now, what does it mean by going beyond the sound?
Getting detached from all the worldly, getting detached from the worldly pleasures, whatever it may be relative, or you should be soul conscious, completely soul conscious.
Okay, detached observer.
Detached observer.
Yes, yes. So how do you detach? Isn't it difficult to kind of detach and say, okay, I'm detached from everything that I see? Is it easy to become that?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Baba in some Murli asked that if you want to get detached from something, you have to attach from something first.
Wonderful.
So means if I am holding a pen in my hand, if I want to give this pen to someone, then I have to pick something first in my hand. If I give my pen to someone else, my hand will become empty. So before giving something, you have to pick something else. You have to pick something first.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's an interesting point.
Om Shanti, sister. First, we have to love to give something. No, we have to love. Then only we can give. If you love somebody, you give anything, whatever they require. No, we will give, because we are giving importance for that love, not for that thing. So we have to love. Then once we love something, then we will give automatically. Naturally, we'll give that. So it's like that. So we love Baba. So we give everything to Baba, because we love Baba and we want to surrender everything to Baba.
Yes.
So we will surrender automatically.
Yes. Wonderful.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
Om Shanti. Like if you go deep within it, if you see, Baba sound, for that, I'll have to detach myself from bahar ke thing. I have to go inside. Andar ko jhanke dekhna hai. The more and more and more and more I go deeper inside, I will not hear anything. Everything will be there. Every sound will be there. All will be there. People will be going, like a person who's in love. जब हम प्यार करते हैं ना किसी से, हमको दुनिया नहीं दिखता है, सिर्फ वो जो प्यार की जो चीज होती है और अंदर नस में एंजॉय करते हैं. क्यों? जैसे क्या पागल हो गई क्या ये? ये कहाँ बुलाते
पागल हो
हैं,
गए हैं।
हाँ बुला रही हैं और कहाँ देख रही हैं, क्योंकि हम अंदर इतने एंजॉय कर रहे
खोए
हैं,
हुए हैं प्यार में।
या
वंडरफुल।
दैट इज खोए हुए।
Yes.
बट ये तो जो आया है ना, बाबा बोल रहे हैं कि अगर इफ यू वांट टू गो बियॉन्ड साउंड, अरे मेरी जगह में आओ, घर आ जाओ, that is going over the beyond sound. That's a big
Wonderful.
process.
So,
It's very
yes.
easy to say. That's a practice and a process to go beyond sound. The other one is easy. It's just physical.
Wonderful. So,
Om Shanti, sister.
yes, Om Shanti.
So going in silence is also, we gain power.
Mm.
Suppose one day you maintain silence, no, you see how much change we bring in ourselves and how happy we are in that silence. So going beyond silence is really giving inner peace to us first. And then we be happy and we enjoy that peace. So if you keep experiencing that silence, no, you gain lot of out of it.
Wonderful.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you so
Om
much.
Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Baba keep on asking to us, like in every Murli, means some of the Murli, like, Bache, if I am holding your hand or you are holding my hand, like, like we are going behind the sound means, like always we have to keep front in, like, Baba is holding our hand, like, like if we are holding a hand, like we have an option to leave Baba's hand, because we are living in a Sakar lok, like Maya Jagat. So always we used to keep like Baba is holding our hand. This is what I think.
Wonderful.
Sister, Om Shanti.
Adding on to what everyone said, I was just reflecting on this, and this has been in a couple of Murlis of Baba says goes beyond sound. But is it practically possible to go beyond sound? Then the two axes which I could see is when a mother sings a lullaby for a child, there is a sound, but the child still goes to sleep.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So being in sound, yet being off sound.
Right.
Another thing which I could see, which works for me, is whenever there is lot of thoughts going on in the mind, there's a lot of things which you don't know where to head on. The first thing which I do for myself is I'll get into some kind of music which I love, get into Baba's song, get into instrumental music. Now there is sound there,
right?
But while the sound is going on, the music is going on, I still experience peace within.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So being in sound, yet allowing the inner self to go silent, is something which is practically been possible, which works for me, because otherwise going from sound looks to be very conceptual.
Yeah. Sure, wonderful.
Om Shanti, sister. One more point, that before doing yoga, we hear the sound. We all of a sudden we don't go into our soul conscious. We hear all the sound and we're getting withdrawn from that. Slowly we get withdrawn from that.
Right.
And then only we'll start yoga. Same thing. You keep thinking Baba slowly, and in due course you will automatically go beyond the sound. When you keep thinking and when you become soul conscious, automatically you go beyond the sound.
Yes. So what I can hear so far is going beyond the sound is wonderful. But think about it, there are three consciousness that Baba has spoken about. I could actually say it as awareness. Right now I'm speaking about how do we go beyond the sound with reference to a lot of Avyakt Murlis. Recently I've been reading 69 Murlis again. And specifically, if we look at 16 Murlis of 69, Baba has spoken a lot about creating that Avyakt stage, right? Because see, Brahma Baba became Avyakt, nobody thought of it. Till then, Baba never spoke so much about Avyakt stage and exactly how do we create our Avyakt stage. But that time, because children had to move from Sakar to Avyakt, Baba has defined Avyakt very deeply in 1969 Murlis. Yeah. So if anybody of you has missed Murlis in the beginning, Avyakt Murli of 1969, or if we don't kind of recollect it very clearly, my request would be go through that Murli, because those Murlis are very, very deep in terms of how do we create our Avyakt stage. Okay, if I talk about going beyond the sound, So there are three awareness or consciousness that Baba has taught us, okay? And the first one is Sakar. Like all of you said, being here, all of us are here. We are seeing everything which is around. Our thoughts constantly, we kind of keep thinking about what's happening around because we are looking at all the scenes which are coming and going, right? We are in sound, we are in movie and talkie both. Sakar means, Baba says, movie and talkie, both, right? So when we are in Sakar, awareness of the Sakar world, which is the physical world, it's very difficult to go beyond sound when we are in the consciousness of the physical world. If our awareness, if that consciousness is of the physical world, almost next to impossible to create a stage which is beyond the sound. So the first stage or the consciousness or the awareness that Baba has taught us is Sakar, awareness of the Sakar world, which is the physical world. The second one, the one which Baba says Avyakt, is going beyond the movie and talkie. Okay, which means I create an awareness or the consciousness of the second world, angelic world. Why angelic world? There is specific reason. One, because angelic world. So this is movie and talkie. Sakar is movie and talkie both. As soon as we go beyond the angelic world, okay, I don't know what is the Sukshmavatan, Rakibin, what is Sukshmavatan called in English? Angelic world?
Yeah, angelic world.
Angelic
The
world.
subtle world also.
Subtle world.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you. I'll need little help because I mostly read Hindi Murlis. Only when I have to come here, I read English Murlis. So I may need a little help from all of you in terms of the right words that are there in Murli. So yes, the second consciousness or awareness Baba taught us is subtle world, that of subtle world, that consciousness. Now what happens in subtle world is there is movie in the sense scenes are there. We can see Brahma Baba, we can see we can feel Bab Dada there, okay, subtle world, but there is no sound. There is movie but there is no talkie. So what is Avyakta stage? Avyakta stage means to go beyond this Sakar world, which is movie and talkie, and create an awareness of that subtle world. Why subtle world Baba introduced so deeply after Brahma Baba became awake? That's also very, very important. Yeah. See, whoever we remember, okay, let's say if I remember my family member, as soon as that thought comes to us about them, we're thinking about them, we kind of connected with them at an energy level. Now we are connected with them at energy level, that data starts getting transferred. So whatever vibration, thought, thought and sanskars they have, that forms like their energy circle, right? So as soon as I'm connected with their energy circle, that energy I get influenced, or I get, that energy gets downloaded in me as well. So the reason why Baba says remember only me is because if I remember anybody here, I will start downloading their vibrations, and which is not very safe in today's time, at least, where every soul has some or the other weakness. As soon as we're remembering them, we're kind of subtly, picking up their weaknesses also. So the reason why Baba says remember only me is because when we remember him, we are able to download his energy, which is what we need at this point in time. All of us in our Purusharth need that only. Now, why so much emphasis on, there was time in 1969, there's some Sandesh or Murli where Baba says, I actually told children that there is no Sukshma Vatan, there is no subtle world. So, children asked Baba, if there is no subtle world, then where is Brahma Baba when Baba became Avyakt? You know what Baba said? Baba said, I consciously, I had hidden subtle world. I told children that there is no subtle world because, there was time when, all the children, what they were doing is, they were only going into dhyan. Okay, going into dhyan because they were enjoying all the scenes in dhyan. So Baba said there is no subtle world. So slowly that attachment to going into dhyan and sakshatkar and all that reduced. Baba said children, there are times when what children do is they like some toy, they're so, they spend so much time with it or they're so attached to it all the time that sometimes, what parents do is take that toy away and say there is no, it's not there. And that's what Baba did. But when Baba became Avyakt, Brahma Baba became Avyakt, is when that entire concept of subtle world re-emerged. Why? That there is also a very deep reason behind it. Because now Brahma Baba is Bap Saman. Yeah, now he's Bap Saman. Now the way we remember Shiv Baba, we are able to, get his energy. We are able to empower ourselves with his vibrations, his powers, his gun, values. It's exactly same with Brahma Baba. Now, when we remember Bap Dada, we get same kind of power. In Sakar Murli, Baba said, Sakar ko nahi yaad karo. But now we remember Bap Dada. Why? Because we are still, even if we remember Bap Dada in the subtle world, that's the Avyak stage, right? Going beyond the talkie. There is no sound. In subtle world, there is only that, it's the world of movie and feelings and vibrations. That's it. So that's why here, if we look at, what is it? So that's the second awareness. And the third one is beyond, even beyond that. Sakar is movie and talkie, subtle is only movie, and Paramdham, the third awareness or the consciousness that we create during meditation is no movie, no talkie. Only the soul, that energy and the supreme energy. And we are only able to receive as vibrations. No movie, no talkie, nothing. It's only that, it's the game of energy then. It's only about energy, exchange of that energy. We are able to, experience Baba's vibrations when we are there. So beyond the movie and talkie, both. Yeah, I'm spending a little more time on this because Avyakta stage, what is that exact, Avyakta stage is very, very important because the entire Murli, first and the second Murli, is based on Avyakta stage and going beyond the Avyakt stage. So Baba says you serve souls while in sound, but when you do service in stage of being beyond the sound, meaning Avyakta sthiti ko banate hue, being in that, that consciousness of the subtle world, you'll be able to see greater instant results. When you give others the experience of Avyakta stage in 1 second, through your remaining in Avyakta stage, you will see instant fruits in front of you. In wherever, Dadi used to be there. So, Janki Dadi didn't know English language so well, right? So what happened is sisters used to do the course and, they used to kind of give them all the gyan, 7 days course and all. Of course, the 7 days course happened longer in, outside centers outside India. Once the course is completed, they used to get them to meet Dadi. Now, when they met Dadi, most of them have this experience that, few seconds of Dadi's drishti, they could experience whatever they heard in the course. So let's say if I hear about soul consciousness, if I've heard that in the 7 days course or, the Rajyoga course, when they met Dadi, they could experience it. They could experience that soul conscious state. They could experience that subtle. Why? Why is it that they could experience when they met Dadi, Janki Dadi? What's the thought? What's the understanding?
Because Dadi herself was in that stage. She was experiencing that stage. So whatever we experience, a stage will be experienced by the person, by the soul who is in front of us.
Wonderful,
Definitely.
Om Bhai. Yes.
Very powerful also. So the more the powerful, more the power, the more the experience.
Wonderful. Yes, Om Bhai. Thank you. Yes.
Dadi's intellect is continuously connected with Baba. That's why it's able.
Yeah. Anybody else would like to share? Why is it that whoever met Dadi could experience that stage?
Yeah, they are 24/7, all the days remembering Baba only.
Yeah,
So always in the awake stage. That's why we experience that kind of.
See, what happens is in the physical world. Okay, in the physical world, if I'm in the consciousness of the Sakar world and the physical world, when I am talking to you in that awareness, let's say, of course, my stage is not as high as Dadi, so I'm I'm interacting with you. At times, I could have that avyakta stage. At times, I could also come down, and my consciousness could be Zoom. My consciousness could be, okay, should I unmute? Okay, what is Usha Ben typing? So my awareness could be different because my stage could not be as elevated as Dadi, of course, right? So what happens is when our awareness, while giving gyan, while sharing gyan, or while interacting with people around us, if we are in the awareness of the Sakar world, okay, in the Sakar world, because it's a movie and talkie world, there are a lot of barriers that come in between. In the world of sound, in the world of movie, okay, there are a lot of barriers that are there around. Barriers of sound, barriers of situations, scenes that are coming and going. And that doesn't enable us to connect. Those barriers sometimes don't allow us to connect as deeply at that energy level with the other person. But as soon as we go beyond, the awareness of the Sakar world, and we create that awareness of the subtle world, what happens is then we are connected with souls at an energy level, because there is no sound. There is only that world of energy, vibrations, movie. As soon as we are in that consciousness, we almost reduce our barriers of the physical world to half. Yeah, we almost reduce it to half. And then souls are able to, then we are not talking to the physical form of that being. We are actually exchanging, it's the exchange of energy that happens, which doesn't happen in the Sakar consciousness of the Sakar world. Because you are already limiting your energy. As soon as you move beyond that, there is no sound, barriers half, we are able to connect. We now not interacting with, that's why Baba says, there was one Murli which I was reading 2 or 3 days back. Baba said, बीज रूप स्थिति में रहकर बीज का परिचय का बीज डालो. Now this is very deep. Okay, being in the soul conscious stage, give the introduction, like introduce Baba, put that seed of knowledge of the Supreme to the other soul. And that's where the seva will, the fruit of seva will be very, very high. Right now, what happens is we talk, we interact, we give a lot of gyan. Gyan is wonderful, but it doesn't reach their, it doesn't reach the experience level. Why? Because experience happens at an energy level. It's not at the Sakar form. The experience is more about exchange of energy, is more about, the thought, feelings. That's what creates our experiences. But if I'm in the consciousness of Sakar world, that doesn't happen. That's why Baba says, if we want to not just give them gyan, if we just don't want to give them, the knowledge part of it, but get them to experience, because real transformation happens through experience and not through words. It doesn't happen through words, it happens through exchange of energy, the experience that the souls have. And that's why as soon as they saw Dadi, they could experience that soul consciousness. We've heard so many stories of Brahma Baba. The intent with which the other person came, they thought they would harm Brahma Baba, they would do a lot of things. That energy, that experience that Baba could give them because of his own stage. Yeah, but it requires us to go beyond, the consciousness of the Sakar world. That is sound, but sound. So when we are in that stage, being in sound, we take them beyond the sound. Yeah, that's what it means to go beyond the sound. We're still in sound, we're still giving them gyan. But along with that gyan, because of our stage, we're taking them beyond the sound because we are beyond the sound. Yeah, so let's do, we have maybe around 10 minutes now. We've discussed quite a lot about Avyakta stage today because I thought two Murlis are completely, talking about Avyakta stage, and we have about 10 to 15 minutes at best with us. So let's do the experience part in the end. Yeah, let's look at some more points. Such an unbreakable relationship which will be forged. So, when that experience happens, it stays with souls. Very simple. Words, they may forget. Gyan, they may forget. But experience stays with them because it's the experience of the soul. And that's how relationship, unbreakable relationships are formed. Let's look
Om
at
Shanti.
some. Om
Om
Shanti.
Shanti, Sister. Can I share something?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, very beautiful. You have described about the beyond sound. Just adding or reflecting one more point is which is related to this discussion is that when we are in this corporeal world, we have a corporeal body. Soul has a corporeal body. So soul is playing a role in the corporeal body. So sound, where is the and the sound is existing in reference to the corporeal body.
Yeah.
Means the ears and the mouth, the mic and the speaker. These things are, existing in reference to a corporeal body. So whatever, that's why Baba says ki sound is there in this world. But when we shed this corporeal body and take the subtle body, then there is no sound. There's only light. It is a body made of light. There's no matter involved there. So this consciousness, when we practice again and again, shedding this corporeal body, and we have to visualize, we can visualize and take on the subtle body, which is made of light. Basically imagining that the matter is dissolving. The 5 elements are, dissolving one by one. And then there's only the light, body of light. And second aspect is that a person is what he is experiencing or feeling is what he becomes.
Yeah.
So this subtle body is always guiding the soul to become what he or she is there in the corporeal world. That's why Baba introduced this Avyakt Farishta. Everybody has got his or her Sampurna Farishta Swarup in the subtle world. And if we make that as the guiding guiding or some reference, then we can always compare ourselves. Right now, what is my subtle body? Is it comparing with the Sampurna subtle body or not?
That's
It
right.
will be a guiding kind of Om Shanti.
Thank you. Thank you. Om Shanti. Yes.
Om Shanti, sister, can I just add on to it?
Absolutely.
For me, this Avyakt stage was a novice because being from young age, I used to read about these saints, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Yogananda, and all, the way I used to see their eyes and their all, like an aura and how they go. I used to think how it's that. I used to feel that, okay, that's a pure life. That's something only a few special selected souls could do it. So everyone cannot achieve it. But I came to the knowledge, and I still remember that concept of the 3 worlds, which Baba gives us at a gross level about the real knowledge. What are the contents of these 3 worlds? In that subtle world, I remember once Ramnath Bhai said, it's like like a shopping mall, and where everywhere they hung all the dresses and all, and yours is also over there. Your name will be put up over there, and there it will be given your name, Girija, it will be written. Go, wear that, try it out like you do in a shopping mall, look in front of the mirror and enjoy. Like he made it sound as if I'll go. So for me, going to the angelic world First, initially, I made it like that because I needed that visual thing which Baba always gives through divine messages. I needed visual experience.
Wonderful.
I need that visual experience first. So I go through the visual, then I take the knowledge, and then I sit, like experience it. And then I absorb it. It's a very big process. I know it's still going on, but that's how I love to enjoy the Avyak stage.
The experience of the subtle worlds that Girija Ben is sharing. There was one Murli where Baba mentioned, when he was talking about Rukmini Behan, the Sandeshi who gets the Sandesh now in Madhuban at Shantiban, right? So Baba said, why I have given this role to this child is because she's her waste, the amount of waste thoughts that she has is very less. It's almost like no waste thoughts. So Baba said, if we are in that stage, all of us, if anybody of us wishes to experience how wonderful a subtle stage could be, or how wonderful it will be to experience that avyakta stage in the Sukshma Vatan, the effort that we need to make is no waste thoughts. Even for few days we practice this, that no waste thoughts, come what may, no waste thoughts. It's becoming so light that we'll automatically be able to experience, have those experiences in the subtle world, because our mind and intellect is so calm, so stable, so pure. So the way to experience the subtle world in real, the way, Baba at times says, I don't know if it's in this Murli or the other Murli that I was reading yesterday, Baba said, the experience when our waste is almost like no waste thoughts, for few days, our experience can be as beautiful as those Sandeshis have, who go in the subtle world, get Baba's messages. But the only effort that all of us need to make is go beyond the sound, go beyond this subtle world, Sakar world, because here there are scenes, there are situations, there is sound. Being here, it's very difficult to kind of go create that stage. But Baba doesn't say we have to leave and go. See, Brahma Baba also became Avyakta living in this world itself, but creating a consciousness of the world beyond this, which is the soul world. So creating, being in that consciousness, we don't have to leave this body, we don't have to leave anything, we don't have to leave a house, we don't have to leave. That's the beauty of Baba's knowledge. See, this nobody else can give apart from Shiv Baba. This knowledge, this power, nobody else in the world can give, that you be in, you are in that same house. You are with same set of people. You are in the same set of same environment, office environment. Yet, you're able to create that awareness. How? Just by being in that awareness, that consciousness of the subtle world, of the Avyakta stage. Going beyond the sound, no waste thoughts. And see how we can, being wherever we are, we can experience that, that environment of the subtle world. Baba is so wonderful. He knows how to, get children to do that effort. So at times what happens is we automatically are able to experience that. There are times when we sit in yoga and we have such deep experiences of the Avyakta stage of the subtle world. And it's not because our stage is so pure or so free of waste, but Baba makes us experience it. Has anybody of you had that experience where you experience that complete deep experience of the subtle world in the Sukshma Vatan? We've had that experience. All of us have, right? At some point in time in our journey of Gyan, we do have such experiences, right? Now, why Baba gives us that experience is very, very important point. We may not be in that stage, but that's like a goalpost that Baba gives us. And then Baba, why does Baba give us that? Because Baba wants us to reach that stage. It's an indication that, bacha, you have to reach there. You have to make that effort, that you're able to create your own stage in such a way that you have this experience every single day. For that, free of waste, a consciousness which is beyond the Sakar world, beyond the movie and talkie, going to the subtle world, only, that world of movie and vibrations. Then slowly going even further, going beyond that, creating that awareness of the Paramdham. What do we call it in English? Paramdham? Soul world. Soul world, yeah. That's easy for me. So soul world, yeah. Creating that awareness, Bij Roop Sthiti, only exchange of energy. That is it. Yeah. So Baba gives us those experiences in yoga, and the only reason why Baba does it is Baba wants us to reach there through our Purusharth. So let's ask ourselves, whatever experiences we've got so far in our journey of Gyan, yeah, there are times when so many souls, so many brothers and sisters, they share, when I came in Gyan, I used to have such wonderful experiences in yoga. Now I don't have that. Is it that my Purusharth is not good enough? I said, no, it's because Baba gave those experiences to you because Baba sees you that way. He wants you to become that. So now let's ask ourselves, there are so many experiences that all of us have with Bab Dada. What effort have we made to reach that stage on our own selves? Through our own effort, free of waste, creating that consciousness of the subtle world, being in that avyakta stage. Why avyakta stage? Baba says you give gyan in avyakt stage. Baba doesn't say give gyan in Bij Roop Sthiti. In all these three murlis that we read through the week, Baba didn't says be in that complete as a only soul conscious state and give gyan. No, because he knows that we have to give gyan through the body. Yeah, we can't give gyan. It's not complete. No, you can't just be in the soul conscious state and give gyan. So being in gyan, but being in that avyak stage, consciousness of the subtle world. See yourself there in front of Bab Dada, creating that stage. As soon as we've gone beyond it, what situations, what sound? There is nothing, no scenes around, right? Apart from Bab Dada, what's there in the subtle world? Nothing. Just Bab Dada and his love, his drishti, nothing beyond that. And then in that stage, there are no barriers of the situations, the scenes, the sounds of the Sakar world. Yeah. So Baba has given us a lot of experience. Baba has given us this wonderful group. In the morning after Amrit Vela, you're immediately here. The best thing that you're doing for yourself is you're attending this class. Yeah. Because early in the morning, a very powerful Bij of Avyakt Murli is getting, sown. The best thing that all of us are doing here, whoever joins here every day, it's the best thing that you're doing for yourself. And this I'm saying with all my heart. I wish I could have done it, at some point in time when I got connected to Gyan 15 years back. But we didn't have a group like this. Every day in the morning, we had to pick up, today I am okay, I'll read. Sometimes, it's still effort 15 years back because you're alone, you're on your own. There is no group like this. But thanks to Bab Dada, thanks to technology, a little bit thanks to maybe, COVID, and of course the instruments, Rakhi Ben and Vimish Bhai and everybody else who is Ami Behan, everybody else who ensures that, this has been running for quite some time. Why? Because it's the best thing that I'm doing for myself. Yeah. So thanks to Bab Dada for all these experiences that we've had so far in our journey of Gyan. The only thing that I would want to leave this discussion with is, let's ask ourselves, the experiences that we've had is what Baba has given to us. What effort should I make to go beyond the waste to reach that stage on? Because Baba wants us to create that stage, soul which is at that highest level. Yeah, so let's ask ourselves, let's reflect on that through the day. So it was wonderful today. I think it was a very different experience that we had. I also had a very different experience. Not that I had thought that so much would come up, but thanks to all of you that it was such a wonderful interaction. Your sharings is what has made it so rich. And hopefully we'll keep connecting in between. Thank you. And let's, Rakhi Ben.
Ritu, we are now going to leave you because I have a very thing in the 1969 Murli, when Baba spoke, the children, just I think it was July, I'm not sure of the date. Baba says, when you are trying to go beyond sound and when you want to become, I put it in the chat box, Avyak, why do you call me in the corporeal world? What question I after that I was waiting for a couple of Murlis, nothing. I don't know why Baba asked that question. I said, Baba, you only have to answer. So today when you spoke, I just thought that. He's saying, why do you call me in the corporeal world?
Yeah. Great. So it is wonderful to keep asking ourselves these questions when we read, right? Because more we churn, more questions we ask, we get into depth of the Avyakt Murli. So Baba said, why do you call me here? Why? Because Baba wants us to be there. That's when our stage will become that. So it's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Let's move to our final experience of meditation for today. Today we spoke about the awareness or the consciousness of the three worlds, the physical world, the subtle world, and the soul world. Clearly, Baba wants us to go beyond the sound, the experience of the subtle world and the experience of soul world. Today, the entire day, being in the Sakar world, doing everything that I do, let me create an awareness of the world beyond the Sakar world. Through the mind and the intellect, I go beyond the world of the sound. Look at Bab Dada in front of you. Slowly going beyond the subtle world and creating an awareness of soul world. World where there is no sound and no moving. Pure experience, the energy, an exchange of energy, receiving Baba's vibrations in the soul world. Let me remain in that awareness for a couple of more seconds. Very, very relaxed, very comfortable. Today, the entire day, I will keep moving from the Sakar to Avyak, subtle world, and from subtle world to Paramdham, the soul world. This exercise of the mind, I will keep doing the entire day. Very, very relaxed, very comfortable. Thank you once again. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Rituben. It was a wonderful Murli Manthan session. Thank you, Divine Family, for joining us. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a wonderful day. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you.